Good night to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana. I'm quite aware that a lot of you in Guyana are hoping for the election which is supposed to be on March. But let me give you a little insight into this political affair. From 1966 to today, Guyana had never got a leader who loved the people, but loved themselves, friends and family. I asked all blacks in Guyana, since you were voting on a racial issue, and you vote for your own black brother, what did you accomplish 54 years? I will call it at least 20 years for the PPP, 34 years. Absolutely nothing. Your young men are being killed, robbing people, getting gunned down by your same black brothers who's police. Your young women become hoes and beggars, and maybe servants in the kitchen of the well-to-do. I am asking you, what have you accomplished? The ministers, them and their children are enjoying life, jumping on a plane like you are jumping on a minibus or a taxi. Are you not ashamed to know your great ancestors suffer all the tyranny from the European, only to lead you today that your own black brother turn back and humiliate you, embarrass you, expose you? It is time for you all to make a difference. The young historian Walter Radney, a black brother, tried, and he was murdered by Lyndon Sampson Fast Burnham administration with Dr. Jagan, who supported. And don't make nobody lie to you. Dr. Jagan had hands in it. Oini Dublin also was murdered by black police officer. This party got a lot of killers, criminals with them. They would stop at nothing to isolate you and get you out of the way. We think David Granger would handle the country properly, thinking that what he had passed through with Lyndon Sampson, Fast Barnum, and Desmond Hyde. Unfortunately, it looked like instead of he lead, he's himself following somebody else. Guyana have enough for every guy needs to be rich, your own land, your own house, and to live a decent life. And you, the black man who talk about the European, which the white man exploit, have been exploiting into a country that don't belong to you because you know where your ancestor came from. And it's you do it, not me. And the Indian also, for 54 years with Guyana independence, what have you accomplished? A lot of prostitutes, rum drinkers, killers, suicide. Think of it. I call upon both of you to stop your nonsense and unite. We have tried a united force with PNC, form the coalition. When they formed the coalition, the PNC controlled the coalition. DGR was kicked out. Mohammed Qasim was involved with Burnham. 7 Indians crossed the floor and joined the PNC at the time. Dr. Jagan and Burnham play game, and it's the same game playing today. Infant Ali and others been accused for crime. And they are not in jail, and I don't think they are in bail, but a little black boy would have been thrown in the prison and dragged to court and beat by police officer. Are y'all not ashamed? Y'all don't need changes? Well, I want to tell you something. It's only a matter of time. They all shall and will answer. The courthouse become the place to lock up the opponent. And criminals they send in prison to kill you and make it look like an accident or you do it yourself. PNC, their hands of blood and death, as much as the PPP. I call upon the international community to stand up against it. The PPP got a woman who opposed and said something to the U.S. ambassador that leave Guyana. And it is not right for what she had done, even all we know what happened. Then according to information, it's alleged that David Granger, the Honorable President, take a man from Guyana and call him a hero who was accused that he was trying to blow up Kennedy Airport, New York, where a lot of black people live. And if it is true that David called that terrorist a hero, then bin Laden should be gone according to Mr. David Granger. If he really done it, I don't think he's so stupid to make that decision. But I am calling on David Granger to investigate this case where a young man was kidnapped from the Supreme Court and locked up. According to my information, the judges who locked him up is AFC. Most of them, the lawyers, all who they represent, was AFC. They lie on him and they lock him up for 10 months and let 4 police beat him. Why this matter cannot be investigated, so we must have justice. What must we do? Try the devil in hell in his own court? Well, I want to tell you, the black people and the Indian, time is coming. Nothing will last forever. You may exist with your ignorance and your guns, killing and murdering people innocently because they oppose you. And you are going to drive that country into something that it may not be Guyana when it is finished, because your neighboring countries are watching you. I have seen a lot of people from America and other way getting involved in the oil business. But yet, you, the black people in Guyana, support the liberation of Africa and use word white man must go home. And I don't have anything against such a right. Like the Indian do the same for India. But what about the Amerindian in Guyana? They have no rights in their own country? Are you people not ashamed to look into the international committee and go to your church and call upon God? Which God will listen to all of you? I will tell you here tonight, changes are coming whether you like it or not. You may kill a few. You may disappear a few. But check the stars and check the months and the days. Everybody have a day. Everybody have a number. And nothing lasts forever. There was Saddam Hussein. There was the Shah of Iran. There was Gaddafi. There was Pinochet across the road from Chile. There was Chavez. And there is Maduro. There's Morales. And in Nicaragua, there was a man named Somoza. Nothing lasts forever, ladies and gentlemen. I am calling on the people of Guyana, the young black man and woman, the young Indian man and woman, to put your differences aside and find a political party, one who will defend the country and uplift your standard, that you can be shareholder of the country, not only taxpayer. Why the ministers get all the benefit and you are the servant, the bodyguard, the police. Every military and police force and every civil servant should and must be given land, money to build their dream home. And every citizen should have land so they could call Guyana a loving place. But the Amerindian should be counted and be a part of every government. You cannot send Smith, Holder, Partab and Gangadin to represent Guyana in a border dispute. You have to send the Amerindian to represent their country, since knowing you was brought there. Your ancestor was brought there, cheap labor or slave. Can you send a Chinese to represent India or Africa in a border dispute? Of course not. We have seen Uganda drove the Indian out. We have seen Mr. Mugabe drove the white man out, and now it is happening in South Africa and many other African countries. And these was white people that born and grow in those countries for hundreds or 70 and 80 years. They have to leave. Don't make that mistake, because the guns will not be able to help you. The neighboring country are watching, and the indigenous people are getting strong. Let's unite for a better Guyana, work to save the country, unite our people, and go forward. And let everybody become shareholders of the country so they could get money and live a decent life, worship their God and take care of their family. No hard feelings. But every judge, every police, everybody that commit a crime, from the ministers right back, must be tried. And many ministers must have a lie detector test, and the police. I will touch this with you in the other video. Thanks for listening. And I want you to understand, let's put Guyana forward, not ourselves. As Jesus says, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? You mean your life. Think of Burnham and Jagan. What have they accomplished? They are just as dead as every other one that is in the cemetery. Have a good night, and may God be with all of you. Thank you.